Welcome to the Buy Box Bandits podcast.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Buy Box Bandits. We have our second ever high schooler to be on the show. We just had Carson on as well. But today we're joined by FBA Abe. Abe, who I met about a year ago when he was doing like 10 grand a month in sales, which is, I'd say, very impressive for someone who just finished their sophomore year of high school. Now he's going into senior year, and since he's crossed $1 million in sales for the past trailing 12 months, we're excited to have you on the show here, Abe.
Let's go. I'm super pumped for this.
What's up, man?
Absolutely.
He's got the drip. He's got the drip
yeah,
on.
Big
He's
time, man. He knows what he's doing, right?
Winner.
So he's got the Seller Hand merch on. Garrett and I had the Box'em merch on. And by the way, if you haven't yet checked out Box'em, our launch sale pricing expires this Friday, August 23rd, at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to try the best Amazon FBA shipment flow in the game, 2 weeks completely free at a discounted rate. If you do decide to subscribe to us, go to boxem.com, get a free trial here. But Abe, how does
wait, hold on. And before,
yes.
when you guys sign up, make sure you use the
Yes.
professional plan, right?
For the
Because
2D
go to
barcodes.
my
2D
and go to
barcodes.
my Instagram bio and sign up with that link.
Low key. Oh, because we did just do the affiliate program as well. Yes, facts. Okay, cool. So, Abe, what inspired you to get started selling on Amazon at such a young age? Because obviously most people, listening to this are, around double your age and everything, man. And you've had a ton of great success with this. So what made you want to get into it?
Yeah, common trait with a ton of the sellers is everyone's always like, I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Always wanted to have this. I always had that too, since I was younger. And started out, I actually mowed lawns around my neighborhood. And freshman year, so 2 years back, I hurt my back playing lacrosse, and I couldn't mow my lawns, couldn't do my restaurant job, and I was stuck. But I still wanted to continue on. I wanted my business. And I did affiliate marketing a little bit that summer, and it worked well. But just kind of scrolling on my phone all those times. I wasn't even 18, didn't have my license. I was like, you know what, Mom, I want to do this. Can I use your information? We can go to these stores together. August 14th, I had my first sale, just ripping TJ Maxx, clearance toys. It was good. I started with $500 and yeah, just driving to stores on the weekends with my mom.
Was there any pushback initially? Obviously, it's a big ask, right? And Miles and I have interviewed a bunch of people that got denied, right? Because obviously you need a lot of assistance before you're 18 with the account, and they are at risk, right? But was there any pushback initially?
No, it was hey, Mom, I have this money, let's take $500, let's try it. It'll be fun. You want to do something too, we can do this together. And I kind of just, instead of being sketchy with it, just wanted your social security number. I kind of showed her everything and said we can do this together.
Sure. So that's cool. And I was in a very similar point. I was a little bit older than you when I started, but I had super supportive parents as well, which was definitely, a blessing. And it's been cool the way you've been able to run with that initially. So I assume that August 14th or whatever you said, that's 2 years ago, right? So that's 2022.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. Okay. Because I was pretty sure you've been doing it for a while, right? So what does that initial period look like? Because I'm pretty sure, didn't you even used to ride your bike to the post office and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, I've done pickups before like that. And it was it got a little hard to be consistent when you can't even drive to stores. And my mom's busy. So it was a little inconsistent when you start, but with less capital, just doing books, figuring out that turned fun. I got my license at the end of the year and did 10K revenue in December. Just rinsing different stores. Started a lot slower than I could have, looking back for the first 8 months being a ghost follower, not documenting, could be making friends, learning about different stores. But it did all work out. But yeah, just with limited capital, learning what I could and just kind of experimenting a bunch with different stores. But there was many times I went into a TJ Maxx or Burlington and found absolutely nothing. And that's when people quit right there.
Big time.
So how long did you focus on books solely before you kind of pivoted off in other aspects of Amazon?
I kind of just combined that with RA, and that was all the way until May 2023, where I was really busy with lacrosse, and I was dude, I can't be going to stores. I want to do OA, but I was just stubborn to switch because it's a big jump. It is when you look to reverse source, you watch Miles videos, you source for 2 hours, and you don't find anything. It doesn't click right away. So there's always that stubborn jump. And it took a little bit longer than it should have for me. And there was obviously other factors, I only had $500. I didn't have my license, but it did click. And I just by making Instagram and posting, you could do your to-do list every day. You got to message 3 people. You're going to ultimately grow in a month. And so it took me 8 months to make that jump. But I'm so glad I did, obviously.
Yeah. And then, so what did that look like initially, right? Because so you said 10K in your first December 2022. So that's books and RA and stuff like that. What would you say is the main things that made OA start to work? Because that's the big disconnect, like you said, is So you might source for 2 hours and find nothing. Now you're also learning, learning to read the data, learning how these different websites operate. But what would you say are those kind of initial momentum points that made it start to click?
The best is when you actually capitalize on a sale. You think like you're in like a dead end when you start sourcing, but if you show up every single day, like you're going to find a sale. If you make it like a promise to yourself that you're gonna source every day for 7 days in that week, like you're gonna eventually come across a sale and it's gonna click eventually. But it was hard at first. Like even me being slow, just like joining leads groups and stuff like that. It wasn't the smartest. But it does click when I made friends. I joined your group. Eddie and Brian, I still talk to them every week.
Oh,
Like those are the
legends,
guys doing the
beautiful,
group
man.
chat.
I just met Brian
Yeah.
for the first time. I didn't even know y'all were still hella close like that and
Yeah,
everything.
dude, like July, every single day. It was like I'm learning the content. We were sourcing together on calls. And like every single fucking day you show up. And I only did 25K in July and I was like, dude, I just maxed all my credit cards. But then I figured it out, found the FBM, did 70K in August. Cause like I put in that work with the friends. So it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Like I could be sourcing for 4 hours a day, but it's not like work for 4 hours a day. It's fun.
So being able to sell 70K in August is a far cry from obviously the initial investment of the $500. Was there extra support from your parents, or you just kind of had some extra cash on the side that once you had the buy-in you put into the business? How did that scaling work? I mean, because that's like a drastic difference.
Yeah, no, just doing FBM helped a lot. I had pretty bad credit cards, like the store credit cards from RA. Sucked. Don't do that. But literally, like I have pictures on my Instagram and like all the pictures on my camera roll. I get all the Snapchat 1 year ago memories like this month, but every single day, like waking up, packing 100 different FBM orders. And like it was that cash flow that helped me do that. But what I did was just like if you test 30 ASINs in August, right? And you're FBMing that, and it sucks because it's a ton of work. But it comes down again in November and the same stuff's on sale. Well, you don't have to do 30 different ASINs. You could do 5 and do the same volume. And it's a lot easier. But I was just willing to do that extra work every single day, list a bunch of different orders. It took twice as long than, my friend who's been FBMing for 2 months, but I was learning, and then I was able to put it in Q4 and succeed then.
Yeah, and when you get a ton of orders really quick, you also like you get way quicker at even just like packaging up stuff. Like I did like I think it was around like 9,000 FBM orders in December one year. And like I would pre-package everything. I would have like giant piles of pre-packaged stuff. I remember one time it was like Sunday. There's a couple Sundays in December that are the worst days of your life because you got the Friday orders, the Saturday orders, and the Sunday orders. And the Sunday orders you're getting that don't got to go out till Tuesday. So it starts to get really sketchy because those are those 3-day periods. There's only 2 or 3 of them a year. Or
you get the fire IG pick though, so it's worth it. It's worth it.
It's good. And you made a bunch of money too. Like 100%, you made a bunch of money too, right?
Didn't you mislabel a bunch of stuff?
That's what I was just going to
say,
man.
You get,
so it's probably Sunday at 5 p.m. on like December 11th, which is like the worst days. They're the best days of the year for making money and the worst days of the year for having to package up a bunch of stuff. And my boy's helping me. And I probably got 1,200 orders going out. I'm dragging ASINs up to the moon price wise, dragging them up to the moon. It's still like the demand's too much. And I print out like 100 labels and I like looked at one out and we label everything. I was like, dude, I think this is the wrong item. And then I verified it, that's even hard to do because you got to search like the order tracking number and everything. It is good times. But yeah, so you get so much more efficient over time and that like, your output per hour might 5x, but it only 5x if you stick around for 6 months. It's gonna increase by 10% the second month, or maybe 50% the second month, but that's way different than 5x, right?
Well, like in November and December, I did 250K combined, right? 90% of those orders were FBM. I mean, learning, but that information caused me for the next 6 months to not do a single FBM order and do the same revenue.
Wow. Okay.
In May, I did 130. So I matched my November revenue, but I didn't do a single FBM order, and I did almost all prep centers. So I was in school, did 130K revenue, and it was the same money made from November, but I did way less work. But it was worth it because I went through the FBM trials.
And you had to get the confidence to do that by getting the proof of concept, and that it makes no sense, as a beginner to go spend a bunch of money in FBA stuff, and then it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks to get in stock. You have to buy stuff initially. When the flip side of that is I'm going to buy 2 or 3 of this and 2 or 3 of that, and 2 or 3 of that and 5 of that. And then FBM it's super quick, get that proof of concept really quick and learn a lot quicker and save all that time, save all that money and reduce your risk and improve the cash flow cycle as well. Right. And it's cool because when Garrett and I started, no one talked about that.
No,
So
no.
the market completely adjusted, and that like if you keep a product finder searches, just anyone listening, you can find like FBM dominated listings, and there's so much more than they used to be, like on a percentage basis, which is phenomenal for new sellers, ridiculously good for new sellers. It's cool the way the market's adjusted.
Well, like
With
when you
that
go
as
to
well.
TJ Maxx for your first time and you get 2 lunchboxes, you don't walk out of there saying I made $10. Like if they sell before you get to your car, then you realize you can go to 100 different ones. Like you have to be able to take it that you're not going to make your $250 in your 30 minutes, like everyone posts online. But like you figure it out eventually. You just have to be okay to not make the money right away.
Sure. And it's like when you start playing sports, you don't expect to be a pro day one. You know what I mean? When you get a job, you don't expect to be the manager day one, right? You got to treat this with a long-term mindset. And then in your case, like, in Abe, Garrett, me, like I had done Amazon stuff for about 2.5 years in the used book market before I started doing online arbitrage and actually really made any money with that. But you learn a lot of good skills along the way too, which is pretty good too here. So in general, like what's it like just as a human being, like having like making good money being in high school, like making more than some of your teachers probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think no, like that is fun making more than teachers. Like I'm sitting in my homeroom on my phone. I distinctly remember this. I'm like sitting on my phone in December, right? And I'm like
Oh,
scrolling
and
through
you're
orders.
you're
I had
printing the
already gotten to
orders are
school.
refreshing, man. Yeah.
The living room is full of inventory. The garage is full of inventory. The office is full of inventory, right? I'm
Cool.
sitting in
Even the
homeroom. I'm at
office?
like three. I'm at, yeah, oh yeah.
Even the office. Okay.
I'm at like 3 grand in sales. It's like 9 a.m. I'm feeling great. It's in December. I'm like sitting on my phone and like another teacher walks in my room and is like, all you guys just sitting on your phones. You have no idea. And I'm just like thinking like, dude, you have no idea. That was a great moment right there. But it just like it compounds the rest of your life. Like if you have one thing in order, like if I want to grow my Amazon business, I gotta have my schedule like in order. I gotta get my shit together. I gotta go to the gym in the morning so I can focus the rest of my day and the rest of my energy on Amazon. I gotta capitalize on my free period in school and finish my homework so I can like exert the most energy into my business. And it just compounds to the rest of your life. Like you talk about when you get in the gym, the rest of your life improves. It's not just like your body because you feel so much better. You want to eat better because you want your better results. Your business gets more energy. Like everything just compounds together. So I think like the best thing about Amazon and other people is like we talk about when we're busy, like we perform the best, and it's true because like there's
Big
always
time.
something to do. So I'm always busy.
That's
At
fact.
that,
That really
like in
keeps you on
high
your
school, how
shit.
many people actually knew about some of the stuff you had going on? Did you keep it
Mm,
like pretty close to the vest in terms of
I'm
like,
like really big in like not speaking to people before you do something. So like if I went up to my friends, right, and I was like, I'm gonna start this Amazon business. 30 days later, they're gonna be like, dude, you haven't made any money, like clowning me for it, right? Not that that would stop me, but for a lot of people it would. And I think like I documented it, but I didn't really tell any of my friends until I would say last summer. So like some people found my Instagram account and Twitter, like I don't care, they see that. But I didn't like go out publicizing it. And like my close friends know like some of it. A lot of people don't really know the scale or like how much. They just know that I sell on Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing is most people don't care at all, man. And not
No.
not that that matters, but just in general, right? Now, that is a good thing in regards to like leaving you alone, essentially, you getting in your business, whatever, right? It's a bad thing in regards to having fun people to work on this stuff with, though, right?
Yeah.
So can you kind of break down what that looks like? Because you've done, I think, a great case of like finding people in the community, having a presence, right? What does that actually look like to have some of the gang you're working on this stuff with, right? Because most people, I think, are lacking, good Amazon people in their life. How do you actually get that, and what does that dynamic look like?
Yeah, no, I always said like I made my Instagram account and I think I pulled up on like someone I found in Discord on like the Launchpad community, right? And you go to their following and you follow every single IG handle that has like FBA in it, right? And your feed on that account is just flooded with people. And I think a huge reason why I didn't scale fast when I started because I didn't even know there was like a presence like that on Instagram, right? I was in a couple Discord groups, but I didn't even know there was like a Twitter for Amazon. I didn't know that because I didn't even look, and I should have. But like again, if I said if it's on your to-do list to message 3 people a day, there's going to be weird people that you don't get along with. There's going to be mean people, but you're going to click with people and it's not going to happen right away. But if you're constantly having conversations, like there's going to be value in it. But it's not until like you hop on FaceTime calls and I'm on FaceTime with Carson. Like we've been talking for an hour. I haven't even said one thing about Amazon, but we're both high schoolers.
Yeah, bro,
So like we have a
never met him
personal
in
connection.
person.
No, but like
Over a
the first
thousand
FaceTime
miles
call,
away.
the first FaceTime call is like, all right, yeah, we're gonna be friends. Cause like I can tell that there's a personal collection, like connection on there.
Yeah, but it
I
takes a
mean,
lot of volume to find those people too, right? And that's why like it's easy for me to say like, oh, like Garrett and I met week 1 of me doing online arbitrage, but like there's like 2 years of me, actually 3 years, 2 years of me posting stuff consistently on the gram where Garrett trusted me enough to message me and he trusted me enough to put me on some game day one, right? And it's just so important.
Yeah, you have to give information, right? Like people are
100%,
wondering why they're not getting leads from other people. It was like, bro, you got to give them like 5 before they're going to talk to you. Because like, especially if they're doing more than you, but if you document, like Gary Vee, I don't know, it's something like document, don't give info, something like that. But
Document, don't create.
yeah, if
Story
you're documenting, you're giving personal info. So people are going to be like, oh, that dude's weird. Well, then you don't even have to waste a conversation with them. But if some dude's like, oh shit, like we do the same thing, like let me message him. Could be something completely different from Amazon, but then you become friends.
Yeah, big time. So in regards to what your current setup looks like, it's basically just kind of chilling at the crib, buying OA to the prep center pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Pennsylvania still, you know that, but like that gives sales tax advantage for a lot of like low ASP items. So I'm still doing in-house prep. It's a lot easier with being in summer right now. Like,
oh,
and
I knew that. I see the pictures. Yeah. But you did
I'll
prep
scale
center
out.
over the
I'll
over
scale
the
out
spring.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, like in the spring, lacrosse, like all prep center. No doubt. And like in the fall, it'll be half. But yeah, no, a lot of prep center. Did 135K in July. I'm still on track to do 200K for this August. Just recently hit the 1 mil for the last 12 months. But yeah, as long as I maintain the 6-figure months, and then I'll skyrocket in Q4. But yeah, those are the goals.
Yeah,
And you're going into senior high school this coming fall?
Yeah, I start next week.
Oh, so you're a little old for your grade. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah. What's it? So what does that look like during that rush in December? Like, are you doing like, is it finals during December too? Because someone gave me that objection once, and I was like, dude, trust me. And dude did 90K. No, he did 90K last month. He was a beginner in January. I was like, bro, that's gonna be the least of your worries. Trust me. And then he goes and he really makes great progress. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's true because if a 17-year-old can sell 6-figure months, if Spizak has 2 kids and a 9 to 5 and sell 7 figures, like you can do it. It's literally just how bad you want it. Like, and you have to tell yourself, if it was this easy, like it wouldn't be a thing, right? The first 2 hours you're sourcing, you'll find a lead. You have to tell yourself that. But it's just how bad you want it because literally anyone can do it. Everyone has a time for it. But no, it was funny. Like we have this like super old minivan that my mom drove forever, and it's like an absolute like bumpers falling off, like car's terrible. One of the side doors doesn't work, and I'd be driving it to school in December, just full of packages. It was so funny parking it, and like, yeah, that was fun back in the day.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So have you guys started having conversations about college with your parents?
Yeah, they're for now, like I'll just apply regularly, but they're chill with the gap year, which is the plan.
Ooh, that we always joke around about that, but that is the way to do it though, man, right? Because the cool thing is that stuff is always there. Obviously, that's each person's own individual jam there and stuff. But yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Just because like in general, right? Like take like the average like 30-year-old or whatever, like they can always get an office job, man. You can always get an office job. Always, man, with any sort of effort. At least I believe that, right? I have the abundance mindset to believe that, right? But you don't always get chances to go all in on your dreams, which in this.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like you could get out of college and it would be different. So like I might as well capitalize on it. And I can always go to college and there'll always be the fun there for me to have. So like I'm okay with waiting a year.
Yeah. And so you started recruiting some of your boys from IRL to sell on Amazon too, and they're all cooking as well. So what's that look like? Because it's tough because it's like most people like. A lot of people will be like, oh, like I tell my IRL friends about it and they don't care. But Max, Kat, with all the Westchester guys, and you have had phenomenal success getting your boys involved, right? So what does that look like? Because there's several of them that are doing great now.
Yeah, no, that was just like, I know on like New Year's Eve, I posted like on one of the slides, like on my personal Instagram, like it was a photo.
Oh, okay. You give them it now and then. So
you
like, got it. I've done that for the ego, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Back in the day, for sure, man.
A flex of like the 1,000 FBM orders in the garage. Like, you got to do it. And then people start to find out what you're doing. And like again, 99% of them don't care to try, but there's like ones that are like, hey, like if you ever need help, come help. And like, they're going to come to my garage and help me pack. And then they're like, hey, do you want to do this? And I'm like, send them Warner's YouTube, send them Miles YouTube. Hey, like, hey, look at this. Like if they come back to me after that, then I know that they're actually watching the videos and such. But yeah, they were the ones that were interested, and I'll give them credit. I was like, hey, like I joined Miles coaching, like join a coaching if you want. It helped me a lot, and they see the results. Like it's a lot easier for them to make an investment or to start something because I'm kind of like a tangible like textbook example because I'm in person their friend and they see that like I can do it.
Yeah. And it's like a lot of people don't have that, right? And that's why it can be very difficult to trust people in the air, which is very reasonable, right? But it's the kind of thing where if you're listening to this, I think, and you have, you really know this works, like it's not a bad idea to see if some of your IRL homies want to get involved, because we've seen too, I mean, epic kind of just friend groups like ascend onto the Amazon space basically. And it's been like, a super positive thing and everything like that. So really just all online arbitrage, no wholesale, no private label. What's the long-term plan?
No, wholesale or private label right now. I'm just gonna ride the OA moon. I'm not opposed to wholesale at all. It just hasn't been like on my calendar at all. Again, like if I can focus on scaling OA and outsource it, the money's there. So I just want to focus on that for now. And yeah, like if I can get it delegated, just kind of like balance my social life and school life while still scaling Amazon, that's obviously the ultimate goal.
Boom.
Do you have any VAs right now? Or is
I
it all
had one with Eddie and I stopped because I realized I didn't need him. Like we had sourcing and I was like, dude, I don't need the sourcing because like it grows exponential with your friends when you source sales over and over. So I was like, I don't really need these leads. But I want to get one for Q4 just for like email tracking, unit tracking, all that, just the back end stuff source when it's free. But I'll just get one, planning to get a VA like for admin stuff, but right now none at all.
Yeah.
So to the person that's listening to this podcast, that's in your position, right? Maybe college, maybe high school, that's struggling to kind of break through that ceiling, right? To hit that first 10K profit month, 20K, 5K even, right? What would you say to them? Like, what do you think is the crucial piece that you saw and was able to kind of contribute to your success?
So the hardest thing about doing this when you're like don't have proof of concept for yourself is showing up every day. So being consistent because like it's hard to get discipline. And the easiest way to get discipline is through having friends. And like it's so cliche to say networking, but you can like take a step back and think, how am I going to find the right network? So if you don't have much money, start documenting how much money. Find a friend on Amazon who's also selling that also doesn't have much money. If you can go through a problem with a friend, the discipline's like already there and it's so much easier to get through something. So like if I'm, not able to find leads and I'm posting like who wants to hop on a sourcing call, well, I assessed my problem that I'm not finding enough leads. And if I find someone to do it with, it makes it a lot more easier. So just like identify your problem and then the easiest solution is to find someone to do it with. Because like if I'm going through something new and I find someone to do it with, it just makes it easier.
Yeah, and it's
you're
all like
manufacturing the momentum, right? In the
Oh yeah,
beginning.
yeah. And the momentum is when you get 100 orders in a day and you get
Oh,
100
it feels
a month.
so good, man. The
But
best
before
money you
that,
ever make, 10K a month profit. Yeah, that
it's
first
so
10K.
hard to get that momentum before
So
because
hard.
it's
Yeah.
so hard. And you realize why so many people quit because it takes 2 weeks to get your Amazon account. You get it inauthentic. Like it sucks. And then if you keep telling yourself like this is why people are quitting, if it'd be this easy, it wouldn't be a thing. And you find friends, like it is there. The proof of concept is so there with so many sellers.
It's so cool how you like, we're at ASD last week. We'll be at Amazon United next week. And like, it'll be someone you never seen in person. Like,
Yeah.
and you like, it's just like the most beautiful thing, like meeting them in person. There was like so many examples of that at ASD too. And that's how I felt like, meeting a lot of y'all for the first time last December. It's crazy. That's been fucking 9 months. That will run that back
Yeah,
for sure.
geez.
But yeah, everyone being from the Mecca of Southeast Pennsylvania, right? If you're listening to this and you're in Southeast Pennsylvania, there's like the best, that's like the most fertile ground for Amazon sellers, I would say. I mean, statistically though, right? I'm waiting to see better evidence elsewhere. So we finish up here, Abe. Where can people follow you on social media so they can see more of your journey, which you've been doing a great job of sharing lately too?
Thank you. Yeah, just FBA.Abe on Twitter and IG. And yeah, just follow along for the journey. Keep growing. Message me with any questions. Again, the best thing about Amazon community is that everyone's open and free and nice. There's not much gatekeeping. So yeah, just message around, post.
Yep. Y'all check out the boy right there. Check out some of our other podcast episodes. Check out Garrett's content, mine, Abe's as well. And if you want to try Boxing completely free, that launch special is going to expire August 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe. So go to boxing.com, get a 2-week free trial, follow Abe on socials, and we'll talk to you guys soon.